Today's subject is the serve. I have a couple of tips for you today. Got 2 tips that are going to help make your serve easier. It's going to be easier to be consistent with your serve. And it may even, both of these tips may give you more pop, more power on your serve. So what are they? The loop toss and lowering your toss. Get that toss lower. You want the toss just to the peak of your reach. Remember, I've been saying this for years, but when you toss the ball out of your reach, many times your racket arm will slow down. You don't want the racket head slowing down. You want maximum racket head speed when you make contact. And when you lower the toss, you realize if that toss is just to the peak of your reach, you're not going to hesitate. You're just going to have one continual motion, boom, because you don't want to let the ball get too low. You don't want your arm bent. You want to have your arm, fully extended when you're hitting that serve. You want to be fully extended when you're hitting. So those 2 things, and I'll show you more details further into this video, but the loop toss and lowering your toss, they're going to make your serve much easier. Especially on windy days, you lower that toss a little bit. And the loop toss always helps you get the toss out in front. So if the toss is out in front and you're pushing up and out into the court, you may get some more pop because you're getting your weight into your serve. And by lowering that toss, remember, your hitting arm is not going to slow up. It's not going to slow down, I should say. It's not going to slow down, it's going to speed up because the ball is there. It's at the peak of your reach. That's when you want to hit it. So let me show you a little more detail. So why is lowering your toss to the peak of your reach advantageous? Well, there's a number of reasons. Like I said, number 1, it speeds up the hitting arm. The hitting arm knows that it can't wait. The ball's at the peak, you want to hit it. That's when you want to hit it. You don't want it to get lower. Unless you were hitting a second serve, let's say. But we're not talking about second serves right now. We're talking about first serves. So that's one thing. The other thing, the reason it makes it easier for you, when you toss the ball out of your reach, okay, let's say my racket right now is as high as I can reach. So this is my contact point right here. This is as high as I can reach, so I need the ball right here. But if I toss it way up there, I have to wait for the ball to come down. Now, as the ball is dropping, it's picking up speed. It's going fast through your hitting zone. This is your hitting zone right here. And the ball's dropping fast through your hitting zone. So you need better timing, more talent to hit a toss that's out of your reach. When you toss it just to the peak and you go for it and that hitting arm speeds up, the ball is in your hitting zone 10 times longer. That's funny because most people think, oh, if I toss it higher, I have more time. Wrong, you have less time, okay, because the ball goes through that hitting zone faster. Okay, the loop toss. The loop toss, the advantages, it always keeps the ball out in front. And if you're pushing up into the court, pushing up and out into the court with your legs, you're going to get more power. So you're forming a loop, and let me show that to you. And this is a very subtle thing, and it's not that easy to master, but if you work on this, you can get it. I have 8 and 10-year-old students that I've taught this to, and they get it. So here's what it looks like. Your weight is always starting forward. So my weight's forward here, but then when I drop my hands to bring my hands back, okay, once my left arm reaches the baseline right there, okay, that's where the loop happens, right here. My arm's going to form a little loop here. It's going to turn around and start going this way, okay? So I start forward, I rock back. The toss arm becomes parallel with the baseline. You definitely do not need to go beyond your belly button with your toss arm. So once you get here, this is the hard part, that little subtle loop right there. Because you want to keep it moving. You want to just come right around and then loop it out in front. So it looks like this. Okay, it's on the front foot. You rock back and just loop it forward. So the loop is happening right there.
Okay, in slow motion, let's take a look. The weight comes back as the hands drop and the toss arm is coming back. Boom, right there. The toss arm is now parallel with the baseline. From here, it's going to form that little loop and arc out into the court. And as the arm comes up, notice the weight is transferring forward. If that ball were to drop, it would drop well inside the court. You see how much I'm leaning in right there.
So when you go out to practice, focus on those 2 points. Loop the ball out in front, toss it just to the peak of your reach. And remember, as soon as you let go of the ball, start swinging. You want your racket to meet that ball when it stops in midair for that millisecond. So when it stops for that millisecond, and then it starts to drop, but it's dropping slower because it hasn't picked up speed yet. So loop it out in front, hit it at the peak.
Okay, here you can get a good look in slow motion. The weight starts forward. Now as the hands drop, the weight goes to the rear foot. The weight is coming back. That's that rocking motion. Okay, when the toss arm reaches parallel right there, it's coming up. The weight is transferring and I'm arcing the ball out into the court. The ball has reached the peak and the racket is moving fast here. Now watch as the tape rolls, I'll fall into the court. I'll take 1 or 2 steps in. That's because the toss is out in front.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Remember, those 2 points can really make your serve a lot easier. Give them a try and let me know how you're doing. I'd love to hear from you. By the way, I wanted to mention at my website, ctwacademy.com, we have some specials going on now. This is a DVD series that I did. It's an older one. It's not in 4K, but the information is still gold. All right, it's a good DVD set. 8 different DVDs, over 7 hours of instruction. We're almost giving them away. All right, I've got a book here to go with it. 81-page book on how to be more consistent. And then we've got this t-shirt here. It's a wicking t-shirt, wicks the sweat away from your body. Very comfortable. They run a little big, so if you order one, you might want to get a size smaller. But it's a very comfortable shirt. I really enjoy playing with it. So all the best and happy serving. Take care.